If y'all, some of y'all didn't know it, we are officially in Halloween season. So I just wanted to get, as far as like, of course, this is basically like still, the beginning of, my entertainment channel, the starting of this channel. So I actually wanted to go back and, talk to y'all about this particular, movie. And if y'all don't really know this, because, it's kind of a different title, but it's basically the original of The Grudge. The remake craze which I will get into when I talk about, the remake, The Grudge. But yeah, this is the original of The Grudge. And can we just take a moment to, appreciate, especially now too, just to appreciate Japanese, Korean horror. Like, I think it's obviously some other cultures with horror, but I just feel like, especially going like, just as I get older, like I just sit back and I can appreciate, Japanese, Korean, whether it's other like Indian, German. Like it's just like I just sit back and I can fully appreciate other cultures of horror or whatever. It's like cinema. You could say it like that too. Like other cultures of cinema, like I can just fully appreciate them, and just because they do when it comes to cinema, especially in that aspect, like especially Japanese and Korean, they put much more effort. And as far as emotions go, they put much more, effort and emotion into their cinema craft, like all around the acting, the story, the cinematography, everything. Like they put a lot of work. They put a lot of work going into their cinema work. So I just want to bring that to anybody else's attention too, and just so you can just sit back and appreciate. If you don't already watch other cultures of cinema, particularly horror, you should. It's because most likely too. If you already know about Squid Game, immediately started blowing up too. Just wonderfully, just wow, it's completely wonderful. So as we get, of course, as before we get into my critique and thoughts on the original Ju-on, the Curse, which is originally called Ju-on the Curse, where most of us probably already knew, because I grew up watching The Grudge, the remake. So I wanted to. It didn't start back until I want to say. I'll say like like I originally started back to wondering about the original of most of the Japanese horror remakes, but so I'll say 2016 is the when I started going back and like some of the remakes that I initially saw, and wanted to like see if that they had a much more original the origins behind them, and what the actual what was to come of the actual films. So obviously, like I said, yeah, before I get into my critique on this, I wanted to go into or if you already know, it's going to be long too, of course, because like I said, I like to dwell deep and talk as far as like talk around the whole premise of the film, how it got made, the origins of it, everything else of that nature. So give me a second. Okay, so going into the Ju-on the Curse. Before the franchise even kicks off, because they say the director, he was just coming out of film school. And wow, this is terrific for a director that's coming out of a film, just coming out of cinema school, or movie, because film and TV, college or anything like that. He was just basically just coming out of college. and made this immediately terrifying fit like just immediately these two terrifying characters, which they're called basically Katsumi and Toshio. I don't really know if that's her name. Oh, her actual name is Kayuko. Kayuko. I don't really know how to pronounce her name, but I'm just just trying to give a chance to, but trying however I can to pronounce the names. But yeah, that's her actual name, Kayuko, and Toshido, her son. And the two original, there were actually, before the franchise even kicked off, there were actually two shorts, two mini clips that show you know of them that show just them the two Kayoko and Toshido, the vengeful spirits. Basically, I guess you can say the origins. I mean, this is like the origins, but they show two short films about them, basically showing the two central characters of the whole of the whole franchise. So first they show like two teenage girls get murdered by Kayoko, the mother, and then in the other one, oh yeah, if you already didn't see it, I'm obviously going to just go on to tell a little bit about it. So yeah, if you if you haven't seen it yet, you might as well click off right now because I'm about to talk about it. Actually, obviously, I got to talk about it. Going over when I'm the stories that I'm trying to explain. So yeah, but the first one is, like I said, Kayoko. She they show two teenage young two young female teenage students that she kills. And the other video they show, as you see here, they show a man, they show a young male student that answers a phone call. Basically, yeah, if y'all know that count, basically that cat like meowing noise that the boy does. And that part actually, when he just came out and the boy came out of nowhere, oh, that got me a bit. It's like, I will talk about like too that the Grudge and Jeepers Creepers, basically two of the only. I mean, I can't really say I was scared of Michael or Freddy, Jason. I mean, if you want to say, I would have to see from a physical standpoint in reality, but yeah, like originally, yeah, like I can, growing up as a little young boy, like going back and forth between the Grudge and Jeepers Creepers. They were pretty much the two. They were pretty much the two like horror characters that I can, or you could call them like horror villains that I can only like just think about or have nightmares and immediately look at and just go in a fright full of just ooh. Just like, yeah, like those are the only two characters I can just like talk about and just like, just immediately be frightened as a child. So, and still just had like a sense of disturbing dread whenever I think about them. So yeah, just like, them to me, The Grudge and Jeepers Creepers. Oh goodness, yeah, immediately terrified as a kid growing up. So going back into it, yeah, as far as those two shorts go, we basically get I can say that two basically glimpses at what's to come between Kayoko and her son Toshido, the two vengeful spirits. And they were these shorts were basically made for, as you can already, they do look like they was made for TV if you can get the setting and the way they're shot. I feel like I also want to talk about, before I get into it really, I like I feel like low budget low budget horror movies, especially, like they grow more of a strength being in low budget, because I feel like that's how you get even much more scarier from an aspect for, especially for like a horror movie doing in low budget, because that's how like a Nightmare on Elm Street excelled being low budget. So I don't understand how, like, that should be the premise going forward. If you like trying to get a horror movie off the ground, like you want to make a horror movie, it's like a more horror movie is perfect for low budget. I feel like you can get much more out of it, especially too. Evil Dead was had most of, that's what that they basically got its popularity from too. It basically became known because it was low budget. So I feel like, because as far as like the effects and going from it at the area trying to be like a scare shows like a very disturbing atmosphere. I feel like they would get, being low budget, I feel like that would be the much more better for horror movies going forward. So yeah, so that's what these shorts were basically made for, a TV anthology, miniseries basically, and they were that were called Geico no Keidenji. Sorry, I don't really know how to pronounce that, but yeah, they were basically made for TV. And like I said, even though that the director was fresh out of film school, yeah, they clearly got eyes in the cinema industry, and they yeah, he basically became, I guess you can say, a household name, and that's his journey starts from there. So he claims that the inspiration for his ghost uncanny appearance came from a buach dance. So I guess he's talking about how their appearance, the ghost's appearance, they came from a buach dance. They came from buach dance groups. He was frightened by it as a child. That's kind of weird. Wait, what? Give me a second. Look at this, a buach ramp, dude. What is a buach? Yeah, they sound like wait, what? They sound like dance groups. Yes, but oh, okay. They look like very. I don't see how you can be scared of this as a child, basically. What they remind me of the as as I was in school growing up, like I saw like a concert, or like basically like a concert. It was in the school. It was in my school that I was going to, Upper Darby High School, and they had basically, I guess, the Blue Men, this Blue Men group. Basically, they look like they were covered in paint, and yeah, that's what they remind me of. This Buwatch dance. I don't see how you could be scared of that, but yeah, he said he was basically. Oh, as far as like the, I guess the color, I guess the color of them, the white, that white color paint all over the dancers. So I guess that kind of, he's talking about that scares him as a child. And he said Boache. He said that the Boache is a mysterious type of event. Oh, by the way, shout out to denofgeek.com. That I'm reading this from. I wish I could have showed y'all an intro, but I guess we got to get there. Like I said, basically, I'm just getting all used to this. But yeah, he says that Yeah, that mysterious that watch mysterious type of avant-garde theater from post-war Japan that uses contortion body paint. Yeah, the body paint that's they like clear, like pale white body paint, and that's how the ghosts is what cause they that's what they're covered in. Oh wow, that's definitely scary. Oh, and then he also says, yeah, expressive, uncanny movements. Oh, so how they basically that came and how these groups, dance groups, moved that was also covered in pale like white paint, and how they moved is basically the inspiration of how he came up with the two ghosts, which are Kyoko and Toshido. Yeah, that's basically what he's saying. These groups were inspired him to come up with those two characters. Of the whole, if you want to call it the Grudge or Juon franchise, and yeah, that's how he basically came up with those two characters. Okay, and that's it. I told you all about. So basically, those two shorts that was first that he came up, the two shorts that was first before the official movie that they were basically showing what's to come into the movie, which is Juon the Curse, with Kyoko and her son Toshido. And that's actually kind of cool. Like I said, I appreciate, especially I appreciate those aspects as far as being inspired by another, frightening experiences, or as far as going to a concert and then coming up with getting from that, coming up with a character that's so terrifying and borderline making you paralyzed at first sight, that you can come up with such an entity that is so frightening. But going into the movie now, so of course it's all about the first. If we're going into the first movie, it's all about the father, Toyuko. He murdered his. I don't. They say it was from a jealous rage. So I don't know if she cheated. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah. Tokyo. Yeah, basically murdered his wife, Kyoko, after discovering from her journal that she held a deep crush with her college friend Shunsuk, and he's also in the film. So, and then he also killed his son Toshio. So they were so the two antagonists who are ghost like who are vengeful spirits, like ghost like vengeful spirits that portray ghosts. Yeah, so they were murdered by. Yeah, she was murdered. Her name, the mother, which is Kyoko, she was murdered by her husband because he discovered from her journal that she held a deep crush with her college friend Sunskook, and then he also went to go kill Toshio, his son, and the family cat before he left. Before he left his house. So, and which I'll probably mention it, but which I'll talk about later. So yeah, that's basically, I guess, that's basically the story of the whole premise of Juon, the curse, or if I'll call it, or if you want to call it the Grudge. So they have two, like they have the film starts off, it's cut in six. It's cut in six vignettes. I mean, it's pretty much the whole movie, but they show it. They tell it that they're cut in sort of six vignettes, like segments that portray sort of the backstory of Kyoko and Toshio, her son, the mother, which are the two central antagonists of the film, or of why they're of why the way they are now, become two vengeful spirits, ghost-like vengeful spirits. And so yeah, it's in Japanese too. The two vignettes, the six vignettes that's called cut up: Toshio, Yuki, Minsu, Kana, Kayoko, and Koyuko. So two of them is the two title. Yeah, I'll say it. The two of them is the title antagonist characters. That's well, I'm gonna call them the antagonists basically because. And I don't know if anybody, especially in this franchise, is really a central protagonist because basically everybody dies. So all throughout the franchises. So yeah, I just basically who's the two characters that are central to that are central to the franchise. And the first vignette is about Toshio. And as far as as I said, as far as the acting and the story, the cinematography, whichever goes, especially the cinematography is very gritty, and of course, I don't know if it's in. I don't know if it's in Japan, but that's all I know about it. Yeah, that's shot in Japan, but yeah, it's pretty good, and I like all of that. Pretty much like all that going into as I said too, I just another classic, and why I said very much appreciate Japanese Korean horror cinema, and Korean and Japanese cinema in general. But yeah, that's what the first. So the first one is about the sun. As we yeah, the first one is about the sun, and as we go into the film, we learn a little bit more about the two vengeful spirits, Kayoko and Toshio. It obviously starts off. Wait, it starts off between the six vignettes because it's basically going into the backstory of how what came of to be, like how the mother and the son, which Kayoko and Toshio, were murdered. And yeah, like between each vignette, I guess they start off slow, obviously like a bit slow, or I guess you can say yeah, they start off really slow, and before they just go right into full kick gear into oh shit, what the fuck is going on? And it's like yeah, like I said, I appreciate all that. Very much like this movie. Even go back to watch it. Yeah, I very like this movie. So yeah, like I said, getting all that out the way. Obviously, the acting, the cinematography, too, story, all wonderful. All what you can appreciate going into this movie. And they also I wanted to talk about the highlights that obviously that stick out. And it's yeah, they showed the boy. They showed the boy, which obviously it looks like he's alive, but actually, yes, he's one of the two of the spirits. Beside his mother, it's actually two. He turns out to be the ghost, one of the ghosts, two of the ghosts. Damn, I said, it brought me back. Going back to the two shorts when they cut to him, the boy, and his mouth opens up. That cat meow comes out. Yeah, it really it, sent a rush of goosebumps all over me. And yeah, it's like I said, I pretty much appreciate that. And going back to it, that's what gave me the creeps about horror movies in the first place. Oh yeah, like I said, as I'll continue to say all throughout, or when I talk about horror movies, The Grudge and Jeepers Creepers were the only two horror movie characters to really, dig under me and my skin and act like, and like almost thinking they could actually get me and actually like be actually like they almost be real and like as a sort of a sense like be actuality be real. So yeah, so after they cut from that, we go into you know that's it's not really any they're basically it's like just basically a backstory. I don't know if that's if going into the other films in the franchise if that's what it's all about, just people dying. Because I feel like it has like a bit of a well yeah probably like some problems with it. Like honestly, because I want characters to feel for, or to get behind, find more of, find out more about those characters. Because yeah, the whole film we're gonna be finding out and going behind, getting behind, and yeah, basically with this character the whole film. So why not discover more, learn about their origins and their traits about that character. So as far as that, I don't really see any. It's basically they're all just whoever they show us in the vignettes. Like they're all basically